Let's take a look at a few things. We want to do an if statement. So to do an if, I want to check these numbers. And notice I have a series of numbers 1 through 9. And then I have a question. Is a number like, is number 1 greater than 5? I want a yes or no. Is number 2 greater than 5? Yes or no? And I'm going to follow that with an if statement and let the if statement tell me the answer. So I'm going to do this several ways so that you can watch it and follow it. So be sure to stop this video at any time, go back and see what you've got. But for right now, I'm going to click in this cell where I want my answer. And I'm just going to go up here and notice there's this little function, and as I hover over it, it turns a little bit green. Well, I can click on that. I left click on that function, and it brings up a lot of functions. We're going to use the if statements. Notice these are most recently used, and there's the if. If your if is there, you can select it. Otherwise, you can go to all, and then you have to scroll down to the I to find if. And that's a little bit slower, but we'll get you there. There it is. Or logical. And here's the if statement. So any of those things will get you the if statement. As soon as I click on the if, I go OK. And now I have that OK, and it brings up this screen. And here's what we have. We have a logical test. So you have to do a mathematical, we'll call it a mathematical test. Then you have to put in a value if your test says, hey, that's true, or that's correct, it is, or you have to put in a value if it's false. So let's try that. We have, and notice that as soon as this came up, I have a little if equals up here. So what I want to put in my logical test is, first of all, I want to click on the number that I want to test. So I click on the 1 in the 1 field, and notice it puts the cell reference A2. That's where the 1 is contained. So I have that, A2, and then I have to do my little logical test. A2 greater than, and greater than is the little caret above your period or dot at the lower right-hand corner of your keyboard. So you click Shift and hit dot, and that'll give you that greater than. And then the last thing you do is greater than 5. And notice it already says false over here. So we want to check if 1, which is in cell A2, is greater than 5. If it's true, what do we want it to say? We want it to say yes. So yes is a quote, Y-E-S quote, and I capitalize that, but you put a double quote. Anytime you do text in one of these, you have to put it in double quotes. Again, here's the false value. If it's false, if it's not greater than 5, then say no. No, it's not greater than 5. And you notice you have the answers here. It says greater than 5. No, false. And you have, if it's true, yes. If it's false, no. And the answer is no. So that's good. This gives you a little sanity check to see if what you have is correct. I will click the OK. And now you notice I have my no. And when I click on, let me click off, when I click on this cell in the center of it, I see my equation equals if, and remember any function, any equation must start with the equal sign. Equals if A2 is greater than 5, say yes. So we have greater than 5, comma, yes, otherwise, comma, no. And then I can copy these down. One way to copy these down is I can just highlight this cell, and I sneak up on the lower right-hand corner, that little green square, and as soon as I get this little black X there, I left click, hold, and drag down. It will copy those equations down. And you notice 2 is not greater than 5, so it's no. 3 greater than 5, no. 4 greater than 5. Is 5 greater than 5? No, 5 is not greater than 5. 6, yes, is greater than 5, 7, 8, and 9. So we have that. The other way, by the way, I can copy these down is I'm going to highlight these and just delete. Another way to copy those down when you have something that Excel can follow and goes, oh yeah, I can just go down here. You sneak up again on that little green square, and as soon as you get the little black X, just double click, left click, 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 and there it goes. So that'll do that. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do this, if you want to type this out, in equation, we're going to do a check and we're going to type the if statement ourselves. So I do equals if left paren. And then notice I have highlighted my logical test, so it's looking for a logical test. So again, I click on this 1, and here's going to be D2, do greater than 5, comma. That comma separates it. This says, okay, I'm finished with my logical test. Is 1 greater than 5. Now it wants me to type in the value if it's true, and I put a little space in there. But that comma separates it, and then I go quote YES quote, and another comma and a little space. Now it wants the value if false. Well, if that's false, I want to know. So I quote NO quote, and then I just close this up with a right paren and click enter, and I have no. So I've got the same equation. This time I just typed it in. Here I used a little function to do it. Again, to copy this down, I sneak up on the lower right-hand corner. I get the little black cross, whoops, there. Double click and it will copy that all the way down for me. Now we're going to change this around. Let's look at less than or equal to 5. So this has changed it. These were greater than 5. Now we have less than. The less than sign is on your keyboard, lower right-hand corner, and it's above the comma. So it's about from your shift key on the lower right-hand side, it's about the third key over. Next to M, the M key, you have a comma. The capital comma is actually your less than caret and then equal. So I want to do this one, and I want to check if this number is less than or equal to 5. So I click in the cell I want to put my answer in. I click on my f of x, my function, and notice if I used recently, so I'll just click on the if, and I go OK. Brings us up again. So here, logical test. Okay, if 1, and then I have to go down to my typing area, and I type in shift, the comma, less than, and then an equal to 5. So that's my test. If that's less than equal to 5, and it says it's true immediately. So yes, 1 is less than equal to 5. And I clicked on it again. Let me get rid of that. So if that's true, type yes. If it's not true, no. Again, quotes, and I just click OK. So in this case, less than or equal to 5, yes. And 5 is equal to 5, so it qualifies. And then when we get to 6, 7, 8, and 9, those are no. So that's essentially how you do an if statement. I'm going to try to upload this to YouTube, and if you have any questions, be sure to email me.